Welcome to my workshop again. So as you see, my workshop is pretty much empty. I got my bowling seats. I'm going to strip them and repaint. Going through parts, trying to sort all my parts and go through everything. You know, I have all these bins now. To try to keep all my stuff somewhat organized. But you know, I'm still working on my AMI Model C, just cleaning all the aluminum and everything else is done. I need to put new casters on it too. You know, someone dropped off a pachinko machine, and then I have my Keeney Super Bell, the 1940 console slot. I think I found someone that actually can get me the parts. I'm just waiting on them to get back to me. So, but other than that, is it? You know, I only have one pin that I'm working on downstairs because it's been too cold out here. You know, so I'll give you a tour downstairs. Hold on. So, welcome to my impromptu workshop because it's been too cold. So this is my BayWatch. Did a video of this a little bit, not that long ago, when I picked it up. So I've pretty much gone through. I'm about 95% done. The only thing I need to do is I'm waiting on the LEDs today. Waiting on the LEDs today because I put a 4x4 LEDs in the kickers and the outlanes. So I haven't cleaned the outlanes yet because what I also did throughout the game, instead of the old black posts that are still in here, I put clear posts in. It brightens up the game and lets the light through a little bit more. I took the old orange posts out of the kickers, put clear posts in there as well. But I've gone through, you know, everything's been stripped off this game. Everything's been polished. Everything's been adjusted. So the only things I have left to do are clean these, put the bulbs in it when I get them. I should get them today. There's one bendy bulb. I needed a red 47 bendy, which I did not have for that. That is the only bulb I didn't have. I'm going to replace drop targets. I have the new targets and the decals. I'm just waiting on the new springs because I always put new springs on the targets. And then I just need to rebuild this. The switch is a little wonky. So I have a new switch. I have a new coil because you can see the coil's actually unwinding. So I'm going to replace that. But then when I tore the machine down, I noticed the bracket is broken. So it's not actually really holding the coil in. So, and of all the parts I have in all those cabinets, I do not have any of those brackets. So, but what I'll do, and what I've done in all my games, you know, everything that I have in my collection, everything that I've done, every coil, I take every coil out, test every diode on the coil, replace the sleeve, replace the spring, and replace the stopper, because the stopper is dry rot. So, not that hard to do, you know, take your time. I've done it to all the Vucks, all the kickers, the pop bumpers. Every coil's been tested, you know, new sleeves, springs, new stoppers. I went through, readjusted everything. The game is almost ready to go. Just a few more little things need to be tidied up. And then the back, I basically when I first got it, there was some creative wiring. The J5 on the PPB had half the wires going in the connector, half the wires going back behind the board. They were soldered onto the board. The CN8 connector which is the other GI for power, was burnt, and that was actually all the wires were hard soldered onto the board. The CN1 was burnt out. You had 3 of the wires that were burnt out. One of them, which they actually jumped to the back of the board. So I have the board on my bench. I've restored it back to, I put all new pins in it. It works perfectly fine. I use it as a spare rather than just put a new board in here. Having a spare for the bigger DMD games, because that's what it's a specific power unit. Will work out good. The main board, all new ribbon cables. The two, the DMD and the drive ribbon cable, the interconnect ribbon cable I replaced as well for the DMD screen. Soundboard's been taken out, all new caps. Reflowed all the connectors, same thing with the PPB board. New caps on the PPB board. The main board, same thing. Reflowed all the connectors, tested, all the diodes while I had it out. NVRAM, took the batteries out. On the back of the DMDs, a new connector and new pins on the control board for the 5 volts because it was hard soldered onto the pins. So I redid that. And while I did that, I also replaced the 5 volt connector to the power, which goes to the DMD. Because this way, DMD gets clean power, no anomalies whatsoever. So this game will last, hopefully longer than me. All my targets, no new cushions behind them. Superman posts, Superman flipper on the Shark. Black Superman on the pink flipper. These flippers are going to be replaced. This is the only other thing I need to do too, is the tips are all cracked and they actually are soft because it's just years of getting beat on, and they're both that way. So trying to find the Sonic flippers is always a challenge, but I was able to acquire 3 sets left and right. So I'll replace those, and this game's good to go. It's a pretty interesting game. A lot of rails. It's definitely a fun game, and when you got David Hasselhoff on the artwork, it's totally awesome. So this is the update. When I'm completely done with it, all the little pieces I need to finish. I'll do a playing video, show it in motion. So and I also put in my infamous thumb locks on the door and the head. I'm not keeping keys anymore. I also replaced the start button. It looks like someone jammed a screwdriver through it, so that was interesting. But yeah, other than that, it's almost ready to go. So then what I'll do is, because I sold my X-Files, and I'll take my X-Files out. Now the question I'm probably going to do is I'll move Apollo where X-Files is, because then I'll have Apollo space theme, Independence Day space theme over there, and then I'll have Frankenstein and BayWatch, which are the 2 large DMD screens games that I have will be next to each other. So this will be cool. It is a fun game. But yeah, it's a real nice play field. Virtually no wear, no marks on it. I was pretty lucky to find this one, the way it was. So thanks for watching.